we're building our own tools and how we kind of leverage some of that use cases for us. So it all, the abstraction framework I'm talking about is mostly where we take all these inputs from different tools, from, cyber tools, in some cases beyond cyber tools. We normalize them and we figure out what kind of false positives occur and, what's the true positive, and using that to just start prioritizing the bugs themselves before we go to the assignment of the bugs. And when we do the assignment, this is where the vulnerability categories matter, which is what I was talking about. A category could be an OWASP top 10 category. It could be a security misconfiguration, or it could be lack of input validation, right? These categories ultimately say that, hey, we're seeing a lot of patterns in this category specifically, so there's something fundamentally wrong with that. So let's go a little deeper and identify what that root cause is. And that's the whole feedback loop I was talking about, is we are not trying to, diminish a security vulnerability just looking at the surface, but we go down below and looking at a category as a whole. And these categories, when you're asking a framework, maybe WASP is a framework that we do use for those categories, the top 10 mostly. And it also has the AI top 10, which also we're trying to integrate. But once we identify that, that is what's being represented in the form of these tickets that we create. And this is how the remediation happens. In the past, we've had situations where, although we've gotten better at categorizing bugs, we didn't really get better at removing the false positives from that process. Now we're actually, taking that next step to make sure we're not simply throwing it over the fence, but, making sure that one is true positives, two, it's we are providing right guidance, three, we're talking about the risk before we start prioritizing things.